Hello everyone. So till now we have understood the searching and the sorting functions. Now we will understand the concept of counting functions. These are the topics we are going to cover. First we will discuss numpy.count. Next we will discuss count non-zero function, and then we will discuss numpy.where functions. In the last we will discuss numpy.extract function. So first we will discuss about numpy.count function. Basically, this function is available in the NumPy package module, and it always return an array with the count values. We must count values inside an input array. So while counting, we are something associates a condition and count the values satisfy that condition, and the condition can be a greater than or less than. For this we are going to use the numpy.char.count function, and within this function we will assign four parameters in it. Remember one thing, in Python we don't have the count function in the numpy package, so we are going to use the actual function, that is numpy.char.count function, and it always return a numpy array with the number of non-overlapping in each word of the list. So here is the syntax of numpy.char.count function, and within this function the first parameter is a. This parameter indicates the input array. It may be an input string and the data type is either string or array. The next one parameter is sub. So this is a parameter that represents the substring to search in the input array that is provided. The next one parameter is start. By default, it takes a zero value and it is used to get the boundary inside the substring to be searched. Then last one parameter is end. By default, it takes none value and it defines the end value of the given input array. Now let us take an example and understand the working of numpy.char.count function, and within this function we will take a string as an argument. So here is the example. In this example we have created an array by using np.array function, and within this function we have assigned the string as an argument in a single quotes, and then we must search the substring without the given limits. So in this example there are 5 strings in the numpy array, and we have to find the sc substring in the given array. So for this I am going to use the numpy.char.count function, and within this function I have assigned the array as an argument along with that substring in it. So after executing this code, first it displays the creation of input array. After that it displays the count element inside an array, that is 00010. Now we will discuss our next function, that is count underscore non-zero. So basically this function is available in the NumPy package module, and this function will help the user to calculate the number of non-zero elements in each array. In simple words, we can say that we can easily find the count values in the input array which are not zeros. So this function takes three parameters as array, axis and key dimension. So let's discuss about these parameters. The first one parameter is a. This is an input array in which we can easily count the non-zero array values. The next one parameter is axis. By default, it takes a none value, which means non-zeros will be counted along with the given axis. The last one parameter is keep dims. It is an optional parameter and it defines the boolean value. If the value is set to true, then the axis counted are left. If the value is set to false, then the axis counted are right. So remember one thing, this method will always return the count of non-zero values in the given input array along with the given axis. Now we will see an example of numpy.count.nonzero function. So in this example, first I have imported the numpy library with the alias name np. After that I have created an array by using np.array function and assigned the integer values as an argument. So next I have used the numpy.count underscore non-zero function, and within this function I have assigned the array along with the axis, that is 0. So it will count the array along with axis 0. So if you want to display the result along with the axis is equal to 1, then you have to specify the axis is equal to 1 in the numpy.count underscore non-zero function. So after executing this code, the output comes here. So our next function is numpy.where function. Basically, this function is used to select values based on a condition, and it always return the element selected from input array 1 or input array 2. It depends on a condition. So while using this function, we can easily construct an input array that only has zeros, and the length of this new array will be give the count of zeros values. Basically, it is a conditional expression that returns a NumPy array of Boolean. In other words, we can say that two arguments are x and y. So these are the optional parameters, and there can be an array like structure. So basically, if it will check the condition, if x and y both are passed in NumPy where function, then it returns the element selected from x and y based on the given condition on NumPy array. So if both x and y parameters are passed, then it returns a new array by selecting items x and y based on the result for applying condition. So here is the syntax of numpy.where. Within this function, the first one parameter is condition. This will be an array like boolean, and xy parameters shows that values from which to choose x and y condition need to be in some shape. Now we will take an example and understand the working of numpy.where function. So in this example, first I have imported the numpy library with the alias name np. After that, I have created an array by using np.array function, and also I have created the second input array in which I have created a multi-dimension array. In first the input array, I have created one dimensional array. So for getting the size, I have used dot size function in it along with the np.where function, in which I have set the condition new array equals to 0. It will check whether the value will be a 0 or not. So our last function is numpy.extract. This function is used for returning values of the array, and if any specified condition is satisfied, so this function is available in the numpy package module. Here is the syntax of numpy.extract function. Within this function, there are two parameters. The first one parameter is condition. This will be an array like boolean, and array parameters shows the input array. Now let's take an example and understand the working of numpy.extract function. So in this example, an input array is created with 0 to 12 values. So I have used the np.arrange function, and within this function I have assigned the value that is 12 with the reshape function that is 4 comma 3, which means number of rows will be a 4 and number of columns will be a 3, and display the result. So the next condition array is created with boolean values having the condition. So at last, all array values are printing using extract function and having the condition array and original array as argument. So the values from the original array were written whose indices were true and checked from the condition array. So with this we have completed numpy counting function.